What is up, everybody? My name is Nate. Welcome to the channel. This is a little bit different. I'm at my perfume station or my desk, whatever you'd like to call it. But I was supposed to do my weekly rotation today, which I decided not to because I have a good explanation. Okay, I was testing pretty much all week, and I actually really liked it. So I'm on version 5. This is Neptune. I'm calling it Neptune. Neptune is just the working name, but I'm working on it. Okay. It's like a fresh aromatic, fresh citrus, ambroxan, you know, the standard stuff that comes with men's fragrances. But I did wear some other ones. I wore this one. I got it in last week or so. Chrome Aqua. It's really great, just fresh, inviting, kind of cheap, but it's fresh, inviting, and I love wearing it. The other one was, I got inspired by Transcendent Parfums too, about his fragrance. It smells great. It's very fresh, aquatic, very good stuff. And then Wulanqi, another one that I sprayed on here and there. I think I wore this on Friday or Thursday. I don't know. But those are the 3 fragrances that I was wearing other than Neptune. Neptune is not for sale or anything. It's just my fragrance that I'm working on. Anyway, I wanted to talk about getting started with Perfumery. So I'm kind of just gonna talk and explain kind of the things that I started with and how I got started with it. If this helps you at all, that would be cool. Awesome stuff. So if you're getting started, or if you're interested in getting started, the thing I did, the very first thing that I did is I went on to the perfumersapprentice.com, and they have a few different kits. They have a kit where it comes with diluted materials, which we'll get into in a minute, but they also have raw materials in their collection too. So you can order these kits, and the kits have a bunch of different of the aroma chemicals. They also have naturals in there too, but for the most part, it just comes with a variety of different ones. Honestly, it's worth it alone for this book that they send you. This book is absolutely great to get started with. It's really good, but they also send you a little piece of paper. I think it's in the book here. Yeah, here we go. So this is a guide to the perfumer's kit here, and it shows you a list of all the different aroma chemicals that they give you, and also the naturals down here. But they have like bergamot at 1%. They have galaxolide at 14.8%, and then, you know, habanolide, isoe super at 5.9%, excuse me. But they have a bunch of different aroma chemicals that you can smell. Like if you're brand new to Perfumery, I would suggest you get the diluted ones, because you could just dip little tester strips in the diluted material and kind of just smell it like this. But I would encourage you just to get the, it's a little bit extra money, but just get the one that doesn't come with all the pre-diluted stuff. Just get the stuff that is just natural. It's like 4 mils. They come in little bottles like this, and this is diluted down to 2%. So you just unscrew it, dip your tester strip into here, and then you can just smell it like that. So this will get you a kind of like accustomed to each and every individual ingredient, and you can start like thinking about how it would smell in a blend. And then you're gonna put it into a blend, and it's not gonna smell anything like that. We're gonna get into that first. One of the biggest problems with Perfumery, I wouldn't say it's problems, it's actually quite fascinating, but one of the biggest issues that you'll find as a beginner in perfume making is it's incredibly frustrating. You can put in lavender, you know, bergamot, lemon, put some musk in there, all these other things, and then it smells like crap. And you're wondering why it smells like crap. So you just keep working at it, and keep smelling like candles, and then it starts smelling like bathroom cleaner. And then it starts smelling actually kind of good, and then it starts smelling really good, and then it starts smelling like bathroom cleaner again. It's frustrating. But that's the beauty of it, because it's all about balancing and blending things together. It's really quite simple, but yet really complicated. And that's one of the things that I want to jump into later on in the video. But a few big suggestions that I would say if you're getting started in perfumery is look up 4 different people. BK Scents. This guy is an awesome content creator. He makes content about perfume making. He does live mixing videos, which is awesome, which is really cool. I want to do that later on once I get a little bit more experience with doing this stuff. But the other one would be Sebastian over at Top Notes. I'll have everybody's link in the description down below, but Sebastian is great. He does a few different perfumery stuff, but mainly he's a great resource. If you guys are interested, reach out to him. Maybe don't bombard him, because that would be mean. But he knows a lot about perfumes and making perfumes, and he's a really good resource to have. And also Sam Macer is another good one. I watch all of his videos all the time. And if you're interested in perfume creation, definitely check him out. And then Hez Parfums is another excellent. He has his own fragrance company, Hez Parfums. So go check him out. He's an awesome guy, great resources. You know, he's always willing to talk and, you know, communicate with you. So those are some really good guys, really good, you know, good content and great people. So I wanted to get through a few of the things that I got started with. Was there's a Google Sheets that BK Scents put out. I'll have it linked in the description down below, but do absolutely download this right away. It's just a Google spreadsheet that you can pretty much craft all your formulas in. And then the Perfumer's Notebook is another one. That one is a must, because you can actually dial back. Say you get a formula online of Acqua di Gio or whatever, somebody's interpretation of Acqua di Gio. You can type all that into the Perfumer's Notebook, and you can scale it down. That's the only downside to the BK Scents Google Sheet, is you can't scale anything down, from what I know. So Perfumer's Notebook and the Google Sheet is what I use mainly to craft my formulas, pretty much. All right, so the things that I've learned, things that you should invest in right away, things that you should get right away, I think. I think you should get a scale first. Having a scale is one of the most powerful resources that you can have. Don't rely on drops. If you want to rely on drops, you know, that's fine, that's good. But having a scale, getting into it, you know, treating it like more of a higher end kind of thing is, I think, really critical for your growth, I think. And then, yeah, just stay away from drops. Are good, like if you did 1, 2, 3, 4 drops, but it's really, really hard to start scaling that up, because if you want to scale up a perfume to like a 100 ml bottle or a 50 ml bottle or a 200 ml bottle, it's gonna be a little difficult on drops, and the batches are not gonna be the same at all. Like Creed's Aventus, they do drops. That's why none of their bottles smell the same. All right, I want to talk about dilution too. Dilution is a big factor when it comes to saving your money. So it's very expensive. This hobby is a very expensive hobby. So you can get things like this. This is lavender essential oil from France. And what you do, actually I should probably just dilute something. All right, I need to dilute some of this. This is, I'm gonna do 30%. All right, so why would you dilute your materials? So you have a raw chemical. So this is Veterofix. This is a kind of a earthy vetiver kind of thing, but it's softer with its approach. It's not so earthy. I have vetiver here. So vetiver essential oil is very earthy, dark, rooty. It almost has like a dirty, earthy vibe to it. Where Veterofix is more of a, I wouldn't say it's a cleaner version of vetiver, but it is. But it still has the dirtiness. It's just kind of like a more tame vetiver note. And it also acts as like a fixative. So that's what you can use a lot more of this, where, you know, when you put in vetiver essential oil, it just makes everything smell like really dirty, earthy, and weird. It's very powerful. Vetiver essential oil is very powerful. I have this diluted down to 10%. All right, so how you would dilute things is you would get your scale, turn on your scale, calibrate it. Just hold down the calibration button. It will pop up calibrate, it will blink, and you just put on your weight there and let it calibrate. And then after it calibrates, you're good to go. So you take your material. There are 2 rules. Perfumery, it does not have rules. There's no rules in Perfumery. You can do whatever you want. You can add essential oils. You could just go straight up all ISO-E super, and I wouldn't blame you. That stuff smells great. There are 2 rules that you always abide by. That is writing everything down and screwing on your lids. So I would advise you, if you're getting into Perfumery, get yourself a label maker right away. I would get you a better label maker than this. This is not good. This is not good. It's so inefficient. There's so many better label makers online where you can type something up on your computer and then print it via like Wi-Fi onto a better label maker. Because then you run into problems like this. You know, you have like all these different kind of labels. If you get a good high quality label maker initially, it's gonna make you look so well organized, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna feel great about yourself. All right, so you take your raw material, unscrew it, get your dropper. Oh, and this is the other thing I would advise you get too, is buy a bunch of these. These are, you can buy them on Amazon. I buy like 24 for 15 bucks. Just buy a lot of them, buy like 100 of them. It's quite expensive, yes, but what happens is you don't have to buy so many of these pipettes. So you're saving so much money when you buy these bottles, because you fill up the bottles, and you can just use these screw cap pipettes and just pipette in. I can't even speak. You save money instead of buying a bunch of, because you go through so many of these, and if you don't keep buying these, you're gonna not have anything to do Perfumery with. But if you have these bottles, at least you have something that you can start working with while, you know, Jeff Bezos sends you these. Anyway, and buy tester strips too. You're gonna take your empty bottle, you're gonna put it on your scale, and you're gonna tear that there, zero it out. Then you're gonna add 1.5 grams, and then after that, you're gonna tear it again, and then you're gonna take your alcohol. So this is ethanol alcohol, Perfumer's alcohol, and you're just going to fill it up to, this is where the spreadsheet comes in, fill it up to 13 grams so that you have a 10% dilution. If you hate math, you should look into another hobby. You really should. Anyway, after that, you pull it off your scale, you screw on your cap, and you're good to go. Label that thing, label it. You don't want just a random bottle full of diluted perfume just sitting out somewhere, just, you know, and then you pick it up and you're like, what is this? I don't know. I don't know what that is, because you didn't label it. But yeah, so for the most part, you do that with all of your materials. I have 2 more of these sitting over there, but you have all your materials here, and you can just, like if you get an idea for a scent, you can be like, okay, you know what? I want some cardamom in there. We're gonna use some cardamom. Then we're gonna use some of, you know, no, that doesn't work. Benzoyl salicylate. We're gonna put that over there, and then we're gonna use some Ambroxan. Of course, you gotta have Ambroxan. And then you kind of like pull what you need, and then you start. What I like to typically do is start with drops. So if you start with drops, keeping an eye on your drops. I'm gonna show you here. So here I took my label maker and I made a 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, and 1. And basically what those are is I can line up my raw materials on them, and I can keep track of how many drops are in what. And then I don't have to worry about like coming over here, typing in, going over here, doing a little bit, coming over here, typing in. It saves a lot of time, and it keeps the creative juices flowing, which is very important. Anyway, dilute your raw materials. What it does is it makes it a little bit more tame, and you can use more as you progress. So you're going to be doing a lot of testing, lots and lots of testing. I'm overwhelmed at the amount of testing that I do. But you want to minimize the amount of material that you're using, because if you just use raw materials, undiluted, just neat, they call it, you're going to run out of materials pretty quickly. I run out of the 10 mil or the 10, I've run out of the 10% dilution a few times. And if that was the regular material, I would have to go and order more material, which is getting really expensive. So if you order something like this is dihydromercenol, I can't even say some of these names, dihydromercenol. I ordered 50 grams of this, and at a 10% dilution, this is 500 grams. So much more material to work with that you can always scale up your formula. You can always scale up your formula when you have that Google spreadsheet open. So whatever you put in there, so if you put in 10% of cardamom, it will show up on the Google spreadsheet. You know, there's 10% of the total amount in there. So you can actually keep track, and you actually have a formula of raw materials that does show up. So when it comes down to, like, if you wanted to package and sell your perfume and stuff, you can always go to that formula and scale up that formula with the perfumer's notebook. So don't worry about, like, if it's gonna smell, you know, rich or whatever. It's gonna smell great. I would recommend diluting your stuff from 10%, aldehydes maybe 1%, and then do like 20% and 30% on different things here and there. And then some material you can use neat. I use ISOE Super, I use Hedione neat. It's probably not the wisest thing to do, but you know, hey, here we are. The one thing I would say completely is don't be afraid of musks. That's what I was afraid of initially. I was like, I'm not gonna add too many musks. Add musks, because musks are the reason perfume actually has projection and stuff, and longevity and all that good stuff. Fixatives, look up fixatives, understand fixatives. You basically want a glue for these like top notes to kind of sit on, or everything else to sit on. So you got, you know, ISOE Super, you got Hedione to make it like well blended. Look into fixatives, look into musks. You typically want to buy more fixative and more musk, and less like all these like interesting little nuances. Like cardamom is a nice spice. You don't need a lot of it. Lemon, you might want to buy a lot of lemon. Bergamot, you might want to buy a lot of that. Anyway, this video is very scatterbrained. Welcome to Paragon Fragrance. If you're looking into getting into perfumery and you like are wondering about the cost of entry, I would say that there's a few different costs that you could get into it for. Like, so if you wanted to just get into drops and do home perfume stuff, if you don't care about opening up a brand or making Bleu de Chanel, that's great. You could probably get away with like $100. $100, you can get a nice variety of materials and stuff. Get your favorite materials, get some little pipettes. Just go to the dollar store and get some cups, and you can start mixing stuff. Maybe get a sprayer or perfume bottle. Maybe $150, you can get started with it. And then if you wanted to take it a little bit more serious, I would suggest you do like 500, and that would get you a nice good scale. That would get you quite a bit of good materials that you can start working with. And then, you know, pipettes, and then glassware. Glassware like this is really good, like 100 mils. And then I typically don't use these little like funnel things. I just use these for scaling out milliliters, but I really don't use those all that much. And then ethyl alcohol, you need that. So there's quite a bit of an expense initially when you first get started, but and then if you wanted to just go up to like 1,000, and like if you really wanted to A, start a business, and B, get really good at it, yada yada yada, all that good stuff, I would suggest maybe like investing a good solid $1,000, because that gets you the scale, gets you the materials, bottles, pipettes, everything you really need. But it also also put some money away for some education and some kind of like books and online courses and that kind of thing. It pays off tenfold. I invested into a few different perfumer books that have material, or not materials, formulas and stuff, and it has exponentially grown my just knowledge for making perfume. It's like they said like 4 different fundamentals, and it just like sparked something in me, and it's like, oh, that's how they do that. So invest in your education. That's very important. And yeah, dilute and all that good stuff. This is kind of how I got started, and I'm still learning, so I'm not trying to teach anybody here, but if you're interested in getting into perfume, I would highly recommend it. It's frustrating as hell because you make bathroom cleaner most of the time when you're first starting out. It's very discouraging, and it could turn off a lot of people from actively pursuing it because of that big learning curve. I'm learning every day about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. I usually just do fragrance content, but you know, I'm starting to diversify a little bit. So thanks for watching the video, guys. We will see you next time.